Hey, it's Peter from the Ferengies. Do you know what that sound was? 'Cause I don't. But hey, it's vlog time. That's right. That's right. We're trying to do a weekend weekendly vlog. Anyway, if you've been keeping up with us, you may have seen some of the ones before. We talked about Quarantunes. Jason last week delved into the tech part of it and the sound engineering part of the Quarantune stuff. Andrew, a few weeks ago, did a vlog on education via remote access tips. And today, we're starting a little series of videos where we're going to let you guys know us a little bit better, personally anyway. And our own, I guess, musical journey. There's no less cheesy way to put it. I did not wake up very long ago. I'm struggling to think of words. But I'm taking the first shift on that one, so I want to get into a little bit of this is my life type of situation here. So sit back. I'm gonna take you on a journey. So basically, as far back as I can remember, as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a musician. No, honestly, I do remember music. That's one of the things that I have pretty solidified in my earliest memories is music. It's always been something that connects with me, which does not necessarily make me special. It is just the way that I operate, and so it's some of the things I remember from my earliest days and my earliest interactions with music. They came from church. I grew up in church, Baptist church, very into music, and my family is very into music. Just surrounded by music, and when you're surrounded by something like that, you kind of start to take it in, especially when you are forced to take piano lessons at the age of 5 years old. I very much did not want to take piano lessons. I really didn't. That I remember. 5 years old, I remember. No, because that sounds like school. Not into it. Also, my oldest brother Timothy was going to be my initial piano teacher. And does anybody want to their oldest sibling to be also their teacher? No, no 5-year-old wants that ever. But I got it, and well, it turned out pretty well because apparently I took the piano, I got more interested in it, I started getting curious about what else I could do with music, and so I started getting plugged into, playing piano every now and then for a special for church, or I work up a song like that. And as I got into middle school, I was taking, the music class that was necessary to take, and the band teacher, who was the music teacher also, uses the first day of, fifth graders being in that music class to let them try out the musical instruments. Teachers, band teachers, you get it. See who's interested in what, and the mouthpiece. Let's try the mouthpieces. So, brass mouthpieces, reed music. Let's try the flute. The flute mouthpiece, that's the one I like the most because it didn't make my lips buzz all weird. And I did not consider that in middle school, people of that age are generally prone to associate the flute with, femininity. And boys of middle school age were not, at that time, exactly, woke, we'll say. It was a girly instrument, okay? That's a girly instrument, whatever. But I got into flute, and I'm like, you know what? No, I made this choice. I'm going to stick with it. My parents said, yes, you made this choice, and we're investing money in it, so you're going to stick with it, which turned out to be great. Because I stuck with those musical ensembles through middle school. I got interested in jazz band because I was a band geek, and I was surrounding myself with band geeks, and the coolest band geeks were in jazz band. We called it stage band in middle school, but they were in jazz band. So if I wanted any chance to, there was no chance of moving up the whole social strata. But if I took the band geek social strata, made a little sub hierarchy out of it, I can move up if I was in stage band. Oh, what's even cooler than that? Play saxophone. Oh, what's that? The fingerings are pretty much the same as flute for the most part, so it's easy to, yeah, now I'm gonna be cool. Look, suffice it to say, I was never really cool, but those are the moments that kind of stick out to me in when I look back and think, how is it that I relate to music? How is it that my I guess musical understanding has been built? What are the big moments? And those are some of the moments. So that's kind of how I started, how I really got into or interested in music. And the music that I was exposed to in terms of listening up to that point let me tell you, Weird Al, mostly. If it wasn't Michael W. Smith or Stephen Curtis Chapman, or Audio Adrenaline, if we're feeling real edgy, it was Weird Al. So I still got exposure to some of the things that were happening in music as I was growing up, in popular music, because Weird Al, his band, I don't know if if you get a chance to see Weird Al live, always a pleasure. But Weird Al and his band, they're very, very good musicians, and they're actually very, very good at, playing the song the way that it sounds, of course, with different words. And so I was still soaking up some of the more culturally effective, I guess, music of the time. And I wasn't noticing it. I didn't know it when it was happening. You rarely do. You rarely know you're learning when you're learning. But that's what was happening. And as I started to break out more of the, just very small segment of music that I was listening to mostly, and I started to expand my horizons in high school, and friends were introducing me to metal albums, and I was getting into like August Burns Red, and I was like, oh, well, let's go to Warped Tour. I'm watching, listening to Rise Against, and I was getting into all these different bands that I maybe had heard of tangentially, but I was beginning to realize that music could be a lot more than I thought it could be, and that becomes a theme kind of throughout the way throughout my journey with music. Because when I first started taking lessons, as I'm sure many of you guys who have taken lessons have done, I started with it's sheet music. We're taking piano lessons, we're doing sheet music, we've got Chopin, we've got Mozart, we've got Beethoven, we're going to play these these written out pieces, we're going to learn our theory, we're going to learn our scales, we're going to learn the staff, which is all super important. I'm telling you, if you want to learn music, start by learning the actual language. Start learning the letters of the language. Music is a language like any other. And if you don't know how to spell something, it's going to be a little bit hard to speak the language or understand when it's being spoken to you. So I learned all of that, and I was very much, music has a structure. Like I said, it's a language. You got the notes on the page, words on the page, you read them, you play them, you say them. That's what it is. And then my horizon started to broaden. See, I liked the jazz band thing so much in middle school. I stuck with it in high school, which again, upper level band nerd stuff. Also got into pep band. A lot of fun. And the jazz band experiences that I had through high school, I had several different conductors. I had 3 different guys, if I remember right. Dave Williams, yeah. Joe Accardi was the last guy that I had band with. Super cool guy. And there was also another guy in between those two, and I don't like being negative and using people's names, so I won't mention Mancho Gonzalez. But between the music I was playing in jazz band and the understanding I was gaining for improvisation and the history that I was learning about improvisation and its place in American and just worldwide music, it kind of started to break my brain a little bit. Because I had learned about, chords, and you can mess around, you can take this note in the chord and move it, and it makes a slightly cooler sound, and there's theory to jazz, but there's also a lot of just guesswork involved in jazz, the way I do it anyway. And the idea that you could just go up and say, all right, here's a key, I'm gonna play something without anything in front of you was insane almost to me. And this was happening at the same time that I had a piano teacher whose first name's Travis. I don't remember his last name, but he was also teaching me like, so you want to play, for church, because I was still playing for church at that time. And he said, well, if you're gonna play some piano for church, I'll teach you that style. And he introduced me to chord sheets, and I was like, man, I don't know what you want me to do with this. This is just like letters and words, and then there's more letters above them, but those ones don't make words. What? It's just like, yeah, no, you play the chord, you can just play it however you want, you can move around all you want. Shoot, if you're playing out of a hymnal, you don't even have to play those notes are just for the singers. You can just move around anywhere you want in the key there as long as you keep the melody going and people don't get confused. And my brain exploded. I was like, what? Hold on, you can do this? And I carried that enthusiasm and that wonderment, I guess, with me into college. I went to Corban University here in Salem. I joined up with the music program, and I joined the jazz band. I joined as many ensembles as I could. I was at one point, I was playing flute in orchestra. I was There was a Christmas program. With the Christmas program, they have every ensemble just play something. In some cases, a few things. And that year, I was in choir and like orchestra and jazz band and concert band. I didn't leave the stage that year among a couple other people, and I wanted to be as immersed in music and absorb as much of it as I possibly could and make as much of it as I possibly could, because I had found a new joy and a new freedom in just improvised music, just blah, all over the, just, what's my key? Okay, blah. There was, I mean, I say it that way and I'm flippant about it, but it was such a formative moment in how I relate to music, because instead of somebody else just writing it's like words. I could just say it. I don't have to write down everything I'm going to say. I didn't write down this. I have notes, but I could just go and I could just expressing yourself is it's a cliche by now. It is, but I felt that was one of the first moments that I could really use the medium of music to express something that I was feeling or thinking or wanted to communicate. And I kind of separated myself from written down music. I almost felt like I was above it. Like, oh, okay, yeah, those are training wheels, right? Wouldn't you really understand music? Like, you can just free form it, man. I must have been obnoxious. But thankfully, I met people at Corbin who were able to temper that. People at Corbin who were smarter than me in terms of music theory, in terms of understanding music, and who just approached music in ways that I didn't, and had understanding that I didn't, and I had ways of approaching and understanding that they also didn't, and we were able to, complement each other. And two of those guys who I played with in jazz band and a number of different ensembles throughout Corbin were Andrew and Jason, currently of the Ferengis, and that brings us to now. Because I've been able to play music with those guys in a number of different formations, I guess. And throughout all those experiences, from that very first, piano lesson with my oldest brother to the last gig we played as the Ferengis, which was the Sandy M live stream, I think. The biggest difference, I think, from point A to point now is balance. It's the same in spoken communication. I made that comparison earlier. This is how I view music. Music is communication. Music is art. I believe all communication is art. And it can be dry. It can be quote unquote boring. It can be incredibly structured. You know, an actor can give a fantastic performance from a word for word script, and another actor could give an equally fantastic performance by just riffing, being given a concept and just improvising a whole scene. It can be done. It's not one approach is not better than the other. And I feel like I don't need to say this, or I shouldn't need to say this, but it needed to be said to me at a number of points in my life, that there is an importance in any form of artistic communication. You need balance between structure and freedom of thought, I guess, free-flowing stream of consciousness. It all has merit, and it all accomplishes something if the artist behind it is being genuine, if the artist behind it is actually putting themselves into it. I feel like I'm pontificating. I feel like I'm rambling, and I feel like I'm being a little pretentious. But I warned you that you were gonna get to know me here, and that's me, I guess. So I don't want to go on for too long, but I guess just suffice it to say, that's the way that I approach music. I'm very flexible, I guess. I'm very I don't know. I think music should be whatever the person making it wants it to be. And that's why I try not to be so critical anymore of bands or artists that I don't like, because I cannot possibly know their intent as they're making their music. I can't know what they go through to make their music, or to write it, or to perform. I don't know their experiences. They don't know mine. And so they can't speak to me. I won't speak to theirs. Be cool, guys. Just be cool. That's really the bottom line here, is I really could have just played you clips from Bill and Ted right now. Come on, just be excellent to each other. Party on, dude. Air guitar. I don't play guitar very well. Maybe that'll be a video. I'll learn to play guitar better. We'll see. But for now, that's me. That's my, hey, get to know me. Get to know the Ferengies. Maybe we'll name this series of vlogs. I don't know. But that one's me. Stick around for probably less wordy and rambling ones from all three of the other guys. Hey, I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying healthy. I hope that you're doing okay in these difficult times, in these uncertain times. We're all in this together. Have I covered all the bases? There's no one over there. It's a wall. But I hope you guys are doing well. We really hope to see you again soon. We hope to be able to play another show soon. We hope to be able to share music, share the experience of music with you, with other bands, with fans, with people who just want to experience, you know, another part of life on another level that they haven't before. I want to be a part of that. We all want to be a part of that. We're looking forward to when we can do it again. Go ahead and subscribe to the Ferengies YouTube channel, by the way. We're dropping these, like I said, every week. We got other content as well. Let us know in the comments what you want to see. You want to see us eat more spicy stuff? You want to see us eat disgusting stuff? You want to see us do some sort of challenge? I hate challenges. I don't even know what TikTok is. But let us know if there's one you want us to do, because content. Anyway, I've been Peter. This has been the Ferengies YouTube channel vlog thing, and you've been a delight. Okay? Thank you. Bye.